Waiting on notification. Perfect. And we are live. I want to thank everyone for tuning in to a very special edition of Off the Record on the People's Podcast this afternoon. We have a magnificent guest with us today, one who is going to give us some amazing information as well as inspiration, and that is none other than our brother Minister Roland Muhammad. Assalamu alaikum, sir.
Wa alaikum salam, Brother Joshua. How you doing, my brother?
I'm doing phenomenal, sir. And on behalf of myself, my family, and the viewing audience of the People's Podcast, we thank Allah for you taking time out of your busy schedule to come have a conversation with us. Also, for everyone who is watching, once it's on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok as well, when we chop these interviews up, this is the first time that we've ever had a live studio audience. So that's history being made. So assalamu alaikum to the live studio audience as well. Thank you very much for watching, and thank you for your staff assisting us as well, setting this magnificent event up. The first question that we have for you, sir, is right now in Cleveland, from the outside looking in, it seems like the city is going through a lot of changes as far as in the community, and there's people looking for hope. And I heard that you are giving the city hope, but in a form of doing for self and entrepreneurship. What new business venture do you have, and how will it affect the community?
Well, actually, thank you, Brother Joshua. Also give the greetings to your dad for me.
Yes, sir.
Actually, what we're trying to do is set up a community, and a community to be able to solve the problem that we have based on the teaching of Hon Elijah Muhammad. And what we're doing is that we are letting the community know that we are setting this up designed to help them with their issues and problems, also create jobs and opportunity. And what we're doing is that we're working on Superior Avenue, and we are designated as Superior Renaissance. And Superior Renaissance covers an area of 20 blocks from 105 on Superior down to 125th. Now, that block has significant historical interest and historical significance, because on the west end of the east end of that was Muhammad's Mosque number 18, where I came to birth in 1970. On the west end, the east end was Mosque number 18. The west end was the Black Nationalist headquarters, the Black Liberation Movement, and that area was strong with a lot of business throughout that area from 125th all the way up to 105 that was owned by the Muslims on one end, and Black nationalists had the business on the other end. Now, to us, that is historic significance, because on the religious end was one end, and on the other end was the Black nationalism end. And so we have decided to take that area and rededicate it to ourselves, because it has historical significance to us in terms of our spirituality and our nationalism. Plus, it's sacred ground, because in 1968, when they had the Glenville Riots, that's where the brothers had a shootout with the police, and several brothers were killed. So therefore, that becomes our sacred, ground. So what we decided to do is to claim that area and use that area, you understand, to bring back our culture, our history, and our way of life, because that's what every community does in order to improve itself. Each one of the communities, you understand, got a historical district and a historical area that covers their culture and their way of life. So in order to be able to establish ourselves once again, we have to develop that type of district for ourselves, so our people can come to our district and see who and what they are, based on our nationalism and our Islamic culture.
All praise to Allah. Yes, sir. Go ahead, Minister. Beautiful. And Sister Minister Aisha out of Phoenix says, greetings, family. Greetings to you, Sister Aisha. Greetings to everyone who is watching all around the world. And we can't wait to everyone. Shout out to our YouTube family with Brother Kente, Brother Musa, Sister Auntie. Everyone shows love on YouTube and Facebook as well. All right. I wanted to ask you, how has the community been received? Have they been receptive to the idea of you buying 20 blocks? That's amazing.
Well, everybody has been really, truly excited, and I have support with all the local groups and organizations, because when the first idea came to me, we decided to go around all the groups and make a presentation, talking to everybody, talking to everyone in the cities, even a few public officials, but primarily trying to talk to the Muslim community, mainly particularly the brothers and sisters who are not officially in the mosque right now, because they have a duty and responsibility to build our community. So since they are, we are calling them, come on, brothers, come on, sisters, let's come back and build our community, since we have all this valuable knowledge of the Hon Elijah Muhammad given to us through the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. Come on, so let's put our work together and let's build our community, because we've been through the structure, we have the training, we have the teachers. Let's get busy and let's go to work. So everybody's been receptive to it, and what we're doing is we are mobilizing. And since we had several interviews on this, then more of the brothers and sisters who are learning about it are coming forward, and that's why we have this ordinance here today.
Oh, praise to Allah. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Now, prior to 1975, the Nation of Islam was known, of course, for the life-giving teachings of the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad, but a lot of that was the entrepreneurship, the do-for-self motto and mantra. For you, being that you came in the nation prior to 1975, how important has your foundation been in your business, in your pursuit of business, that all these years later, you're still saying, let's do for self?
Yeah, well, like I said, I came to the nation in 1970, and I was able to see the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, went to Savior's Day to see him as well. And I also have the books that the nation put out right here called The Accomplishment of the Nation of Islam, The Accomplishment of the Muslim. And I don't know whether a lot of young Muslim brothers and sisters are familiar with this, but this is all the activity and all the work and accomplishment of Elijah Muhammad. And I came under that with the farms. And so Minister Theodore Hamza in Cleveland was very, very industrious, was very, very successful. We had the Shabazz Bakery, we had the Shabazz Grocery Store, we had haberdashery, we had barbershop, we had pool room, we had hardware store, we had a company called Daily Juice Company, where about 30 brothers was driving trucks and living the Daily Juice. So I came up in that environment. Also, I came up in South Carolina, and it was a segregated community. And so in our community, we had similar things. And so when I came to the nation, I was excited about that. And so after 1975, of course, when the Honorable Elijah Muhammad left us, then of course the nation fell. And then after the FBI and COINTELPRO and the police department destroyed the Black nationalist movement, then the community became blighted. And then the Arabs and all the other people getting to move in and take over the community. And so so our desire is, okay, then, well, if that's what they're doing, then let us not turn that around and let's do it ourselves, because we got the blueprint. We got the example. And let's do it once again. And let's do it in the name of our, ancestors who have passed, and those who are still present, because they want to see something done. So when I became minister under Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan in 1981, I attempted to carry out the work that Minister Theodore Hamza had left, because I figured then, in order for me to be successful, I had to be equal to or greater than Minister Theodore Hamza. And since he was a businessman plus a strong spiritual teacher, then I adopted his example and started working in Cleveland. And then we was in Cleveland, and then we was able to duplicate what Minister Theodore Hamza had put in place.
Beautiful. All praises to Allah. Yes, sir. Okay, and people are showing you love. And I want to first of all say, on behalf of myself, my family, and the viewing audience of the People's Podcast, that we thank Allah for you, sir, and the many sacrifices that you have made, as well as your family. Please let them know that we respect and salute them, as well as yourself and the believers, to help establish Islam in Cleveland, Ohio, and throughout the Midwest. May Allah continue to bless you all.
Right.
Yes, sir. And my sisters, Miriam and Naima, send the greetings. Brother Nelson Ramos out of Massachusetts says, Assalamu alaikum, beautiful God nation. And thank you, everyone who's showing love all around the world. I wanted to ask you about Minister Theodore Hamza. And Dr. Alim, who I've interviewed many times, spoke about him being in the ranks under him and have in the profound impact that he had on him prior to 75. What was it about him that had Cleveland moving?
Well, he gave us a clear example of the teaching of Elijah Muhammad, but he backed up his example with work, activity, putting business together. And so when I came in, all the Muslims virtually had businesses, or was it really in reality doing for themselves. had a successful fish program, bakery, and all the other entities that we need to build a nation. Mr. Theodore had that in place. In fact, you understand, in 1970, Brother Elijah Muhammad and myself, we was at FOI in the ranks together. And so he went to Case Western Reserve University, became a doctor, and of course left Cleveland at some point, you know. And of course, you understand, I was in Cleveland, and after 75, I went to California for 3 years, stayed, and came back to Cleveland because I felt my destiny was here in Cleveland. And of course, you understand that the minister, we were always looking forward for the minister to return and build the work of the Hon Elijah Muhammad, because we was all excited by the minister on the radio broadcast he would have every Saturday morning, Sunday morning, and we would listen at the minister as well as Minister Theodore Hamza. So the spirit connection was strong with the minister Farrakhan, but as well as Minister Theodore Hamza. But the physical activity was what led us to begin to do the things that we need to do under Minister Theodore Hamza.
Beautiful, yes, sir. And I spoke with my father extensively about this interview coming up last night, and he told me about how he respected your do-for-self approach since the 90s. And, you know, since he met you, he said, our Minister Roland was always about being productive and doing for self. So he said that's something that he really respects, and a lot of believers around the nation respect that about you. What advice can you give to people in different cities about buying the blocks, 20 blocks and plazas and things of this nature, and going back? But how can we, you know, in different cities, how can we do the same?
Well, we can do the same, number one, by first following the teaching of Hon Elijah Muhammad and the Honorable Minister Farrakhan. But the question is that we have to read and we have to study what the Honorable Elijah Muhammad have done, and we have to study what the Honorable Minister Farrakhan have done, and we have to follow that pattern and that process. But if we don't study and read the process, you know what I mean, then we won't understand. Now, the mosque is set up, the nation is set up for us to build a nation. But the institution that is set up for us to build a nation first start with the mosque, and from the mosque, it goes to education and training, and from education and training, it goes to economic development. And the thing, what we have to do is to study the process in which the Honorable Elijah Muhammad cared that about. Now, I term that as the three trimester, which means that we have to get our spiritual understanding, we have to get our education, and then we have to go into economics. Well, in the economics is where the luxury, the money, the good home, and friendship and all life come from. And so we would follow the process about getting our spiritual development based on the teaching, grow in that. Then we would try to get some type of education to bring forth our gifts, skills, and talent, right? And
Yes,
but in order to do that, we have to be thinking nationhood, not mosque. We have to think nationhood. And when we get into the economic, then we begin to set up businesses. And so you have a cycle where a young brother comes to the mosque, he get his spiritual knowledge, then he get his education, and then he comes to the community where the Muslim own all the businesses. Right. They own all the factories, they own the industry, so he could get a job. So now when he comes in that community, he comes in a business where the brother has a business, but he does not lead the mosque because the brother who set the business got the mosque activity in his business. He got the process of FOI, he got the process of MGT, and he have a continuation of growth. But if we don't have any education and we just lock them in one area and don't have any growth, then when we go out, we don't come to build our nation. We go to give our service to the Caucasian and Israel and continue to build his. So if someone has to say, no, we got to stop that. We got to be able to build our reality. So the ones that best able to do that, is, in my view, is the ones who are already out, who done went through the process, but have not completed it. And so come on, brother, let's come on and build a community, establish these business so that the young brothers who come in through the mosque, you know what I mean, can get some training, and then they can come to you and work for you. And then the resources, the money we get will go back to finance the mosque and finance the educational process. And that way we got a full cycle: mosque, education, economic development, and then people are passing through, just like the white man in this world. He got from K to 12, then he got trade schools, you got college, university, and then you go in the marketplace, then you get money, and then you're able to establish your lifestyle and your way of life. And out of that comes the luxury, the money, the good homes and friendships from all walks of life. So we have to do that by ourselves.
Yes,
and
sir.
establish our community, we do it. Now, when you look at all the other communities, if I go in the Italian community, they do the same. Right? They set up businesses. They take their children through spiritual training, education, and the children come back and establish the business. And then they give the people Italian culture. Well, we have an Islamic culture. Then we can present Islamic culture the same way that the Irish present Irish culture, the Greek culture, the Asians, they present their culture, and we run back and forth in our various cities, spending money to them because we want to be a part of their culture, want to have something from their culture. When we establish ours. So Superior Renaissance is designed to establish that culture so that when you come on Superior, you'll find everything you want that is Black nationalist and Islamic. So that you can come and you can buy, you can get the proper food, you get the proper clothing, you can get the proper advice, you can get anything you need. So when you walk away from our community, just like an Italian, he can walk away from his community and he feel as an Italian, he feel good. Because he can sit down, have him Italian dinner, get him Italian wine, hear Italian music, see Italian art, speak Italian language. His mind transformed to Italy, and he see the mother country, and he walk away. He feels like he's Italian. That's right. But the question becomes, where in our community that we can go and get that done and see that. A white boy can go downtown and see all the tall buildings that are being built, see the business being built as a young boy. And he can see what his grandfather did, his great-grandfather did, his father did, and he get inspiration. So now he got a vision because they set up a system and set up a world where he can see his reality. But when a brother come in the hood, he see the Arab, he see the Asian. He don't see himself, so he can't get a reality of what he is or who he is, and he can't understand God-given gift that's given to him because we have a structure where he can identify himself with. So he ends up setting up his own reality, and his reality against the laws that's set up by the system, and the system perpetrate that. And so our young brother end up going to jail while the other ones go to college, university, and make a life for themselves.
Right.
Go ahead, yes, sir. Go ahead, bro, minister. Go ahead. Yes, sir. Praise be to Allah. And thank you very much for your teaching. Thank you, everyone who's watching and showing love as well to the People's Podcast. All right. My next question for you, sir, is there was a cadence of drill. And one of the drill tapes, me and my siblings, we always watch the drill tapes from the Cleveland MGT during the 90s. And they said, who was the man in Cleveland on the move? And they said, Brother Roland Muhammad. And from back then, yes, sir. And back then, I said, okay, this brother, I don't know who you are. I didn't know who you were, but I knew that they were putting you in a drill cadence. You were doing something in the city. What advice would you give to people about establishing connections within the community in each individual city?
Well, the only way you can establish business and a connection is through business. Because business allows you to get the friendship in all walks of life. The mosque allows you to get the education so you become a person, you understand, of interest. You become a spiritual being that offers spiritual knowledge and understanding based on your relationship with people. Because if I got Islam and I got the teaching, then I want to carry out the manner of the teaching of Hon Elijah Muhammad. Then I want to get some education so I can, number one, be able to explain what I am, who I am, and be able to talk to people. But the real communication, you understand, starts when you set up a business. When you set up a business, with the business, you understand, I'm bringing food, clothes, and shelter. You know what I mean? I bring the things that you need that satisfy your life. And in the process, we develop a conversation and relationship. Now, based on my relationship with the people, I'm bringing my spirituality. I'm showing love. I'm a brother, you understand? I'm showing love for everybody who come in my presence. I want to offer the best service that I have with my business, right? You know what I mean? And I want to be helping every way to help them with their problem. So what the teaching of Elijah Muhammad gives us all these dynamics to work out, but you can only work that in business. And that's how the relationship has been. When you look at countries around the world, their relationship is based on business.
Yes, sir.
Develop alliances and build opportunity, you know what I mean, and relationship is through business, trade for trade, because God bless each nation with a product or resources that the other nation don't have. And so therefore it becomes a trade-off. I buy from you, you buy from me. Well, we have to be able to, we have to do the same thing. So that's how we begin to communicate is what I can offer you. And so when we establish that, you know, in the community, then we ever have a full range of opportunity to work with people. And in the process, if you got a culture item, we have a culture item called the bean pie and the bean soup. They are culture items. The Italian got the pizza. You know what I mean? The Greeks got their own. The Asians got their own. And so your culture item, it will connect you with people.
Yes, sir.
So people come to get your culture items. So we got all these culture items in the Nation of Islam that we should be setting up businesses and offering that. And then that's where your communication comes. Now once you do that, then now you have to, you own some land, you own some property, and inside the property, you got a business. So with the land, that's become political now. Then with the business, that become political now. With the employees, that's political because you're paying taxes. And for taxes, you look at return from the city, from the government.
Yes,
so
sir.
now it gives you an opportunity to work with politicians. I want expansion. There's a lot next door. I can't go take the lot. I got to go through the process of able to government to get that. So therefore now you want to be able to get in the political arena as a result of your business, because there's no conversation unless you got land. And there's no conversation unless you got to own a building. There's no conversation unless you got a business within the building and you got employees, because you think about the welfare of your employees. You also think about expansion. So therefore, that would allow you to do that. Now, on the other end, you got people coming around. They want to know what you're doing. They don't want to know how you're doing it. So now that developed conversation and relationship. You know what I mean? Because it's all based on what you have. If you don't have nothing, you don't have no conversation. You don't have nothing, you don't have nothing to talk about. So what we are saying is that we have to develop what we need so we can create conversation and dialogue, because people want to know. And at the same time, we realize that each generation coming before, then what are we preparing for the generation that coming forward? You know what I mean? Our job is to create a reality of the world, and our world is the Nation of Islam. And the Nation of Islam consists of everything from A to Z, not just the mosque alone. We're supposed to have the mosque, that's the beginning step, but the people that come through the mosque and education must establish the business. You know, and that's what America does. All people coming out of college, university, they go and extend the growth and development of the country. And the more your population, the more it expands, the more it grows, the more business you got. So the government, they get taxes, the state get taxes, the county get taxes, the city get taxes, and that taxes there in return is used to enhance businesses, enhance the life of people.
That's right.
And so what we want to be able to do the same thing. Our nation can be greater than what it is if it will be able to get money from our businesses as opposed to charity. Charity won't be a thing. It's not enough. We have to have businesses. And what make America great is a small business and the largest business who pay taxes to allow the government to have operating fund, a general budget to work out of.
Yes, sir.
The nation need a general budget. So if the nation has a general budget through our work, you understand, then the nation can grow, greater and greater and greater, and more people come, because I'm coming to the nation. I'm not just getting the spiritual knowledge. I'm getting the training because of the brother there who can train me in anything I want to know, right? And then we making money because we serving the broader community as well as the state, you know what I mean?
Yes, sir.
As well as the nation. And then we get so broad, we can go international. But I'm not going to show the international process with the fish coming out of Peru. He shows us with the merchandise coming out of Japan.
That's right.
All that's before us. But if we don't grow and develop, we won't be able to do that. And how do you grow and develop? You got to get in the books and start reading.
Yes, sir.
Get the books and start studying. I mean, not studying what the world does, but study what the Hon Elijah Muhammad has given us. Study what Mr. Parker has given us and follow those directions. If we follow those directions, then we'll be able to do what they do. And then in that reality, we will be following him and not the world. So
All praise due to Allah. Yes, sir. You teacher, brother minister. Thank you all for showing love. I'm Brother Dwayne too. Thank you for saying Assalamu alaikum family. Thank you for everyone who always gives the greetings to myself as well as Brother Minister Roland. Thank you all for showing love. Speaking of businesses, we have a quick 60-second commercial break for all of the sponsors. People's Podcast, sir. We're coming right back to our Brother Minister out of Cleveland. If you all would like to be a donor, thank you for people all around the world who donate. Please cash out the People's Podcast. 1 second. We're coming right back to Minister Roland. Here we go. Thank you for every sponsorship, every like, every share, and every subscription. We truly appreciate it.
Television, and film editing. Please reach out to him if you need any of those services. Sister Miriam's ABC I Love Me, children's book and coloring book, and now Spanish book. All three available on Amazon.com. Sister Naima's Stay on Point Dance Academy, LLC. She teaches ballet virtually to young girls all across the country, right here in the studios of Atlanta, Georgia. Dr. Henry Carter's King Henry Turkey Legs, right here in Atlanta, Georgia. Brother Rashad Muhammad's COVID-19 disinfected cleaning services out of Chicago. Student Minister Sharif Muhammad's book, A Soldier in the Movement of Christ, available on adulsharif.com. And lastly, Brother Joshua Muhammad's book, Cleopatra, as well as No Father, No Excuse, both available on Amazon.
All right. And also the Sherry Muhammad with Asiatic Minds. Thank you very much to Sherry Muhammad, Asiatic Minds. Please enroll your children in asiaticminds.com. They teach to young kings and queens all around the world. Thank you for the staff, faculty, the parents, asiaticminds.com. Thank you very much. All right. Yes, sir. Right back to our brother, Minister Roland. And please let us know what city you all are watching around the world. Let us know what city you're watching in the chat. Yes, sir. Okay, my next question is for you. You mentioned some riots that took place in 1968. I'm not familiar with those. Could you let us know what took place?
Well, the Black Nationalists had a beef or had an issue with the police department. And of course, they were doing the COINTELPRO program, and they wanted to eliminate the Black Nationalists as well as, what happened with the Nation of Islam. So they had a fight with the police department. There was a shootout. And several policemen got killed, a couple of policemen got killed, and about 4 or 5 brothers got killed. And that was the Glenville Riot, because the brother who led that move was Fred Ahmed Evans, and he was in the mosque for a period, but then he went up, and of course, you know how we do. We take the teaching, we go out and set up different groups in the organization to reach certain elements of our people. So, because some of our people are military decline, some are religious, some are economic, some are spiritual. And so he was able to meet that group of brothers. And then they did just like the Black Nationalists did, and Black Panthers, want to set up around their own superior where they could secure and protect. And of course, you understand, how the police department felt. They didn't want anybody to have that control. So they was always harassing the brothers, and the brothers got tired of them. So they got a bunch of weapons and began to have a shootout with the police. And so that's what happened to them. And of course, what happened to the Nation of Islam. So they had that. And plus, prior to that, they had the Huff riots. And so then out of that grew the legendary War Number 7, where Councilwoman Fannie Lewis, which was a great lover of the Honorable Miss Louis Farrakhan, took the program of the Hon Elijah Muhammad and really rebuilt the Huff community. And so we got that before us. So what we want to do once again is that bring that community back to life now, because they got a historical significance and historical reference. And what we did is that briefly, real fast, we went and we got these photos right here of how that area looked. This was Mosque number 18, 124 for Superior. And then we had all the businesses along the strip from the 60s and the 70s, what existed that was Black owned and Black operated. So we got a sense of how the community looked. And so we want to reduplicate that and bring that back together based on our spiritual base and our nationalistic base.
That's right.
Go ahead. Praise be to Allah. Yes, sir. And Brother Minister, for those who are watching via Zoom and out of town and not in Cleveland, how can we support what you all have going on in Cleveland?
Oh, well, what we need is right now, we need people's mind. We need their spirit in doing anything that we are doing. And the thing is that what makes you successful as a people, you understand, you have to all be in one mind and one body and one spirit, because the power of thought allows us to do anything we want to do. If we are unified in the thought and we have a will and desire to do so. And according to the teaching of Elijah Muhammad, given to Mother Muhammad, she said, our fathers in the past, they all got together and thought things into existence. So we come together in the proper thought and the proper mind. We can put in motion all we need to do, but we got to be righteous in our thinking, got righteous in our behavior. And the Honorable Elijah Muhammad laid the principle down that make us righteous to give us the ability to do that. We just have to follow and believe in it.
All praise to Allah. Beautiful, sir. Yes, sir. And my next question for you is the advice on a lot of what I see online is what we call gender wars between the sexes, the men versus the women, the brothers versus sisters in religion and outside of religion. What advice would you give to us healing, showing the importance of brothers and sisters, men and women working together versus against each other?
Well, the whole thing about working together allows us to see results. That's what everybody's looking for. If you can work together and manifest results, then everybody's happy, because the results deal with all kind of dissatisfaction, because we can rejoice in the result.
Yes, sir.
That we don't have no results. You know what I mean? And we have nothing to share. We have nothing to give. And we want to just talk as opposed to let's get busy and go to work.
Yes, sir.
Now, so I have a real fast right here. I want to try to explain something to you real fast. Here what the Honorable Muhammad said. Do I have a minute to go over this if you don't mind?
Oh, yes, sir. Take your time, Ramiz.
Okay, right here. The Honorable as a Muslim is nothing if he or she is nothing, or he or she can achieve nothing and fulfill nothing but without working. Right? If you are rich, continue working. Right? If you are burdened with seemingly unfair responsibility, work. Right? Right? Okay, he goes on to say, if you are happy, keep on working. Let's give room for doubt and fear. If disappointed comes, work. If your health is threatened, work. When faith is shaken, work. When dreams are shattered and hope seems dead, work. Right?
Yes,
work.
Sir.
If you were in peril, no matter what ails you, work. Work faithfully, work faithfully, work with faith, work for your moms, work for your own, work for the greatest, work is the greatest remedy available for mental and physical affliction. Right. So we got to go to work. Elijah Muhammad was a worker among us. Master Muhammad was a worker among us. And the Honorable Minister was fired as a worker because he showed us how he demonstrated in our presence all the works of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. So let's get busy and go to work and stop the foolishness.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Praise be to Allah. And we just want to let you know, on behalf of myself, my family, and the viewing audience of the People's Podcast, that we support your work of yourself, your family, and of the believers in the community. I look forward to coming to Cleveland.
Yes, sir.
Only for this event, because I was born in Cincinnati and I visit Cincinnati periodically, but I never had a love to go to Cleveland. I never had nothing for me to go to Cleveland for. But when I heard about this event and heard about what you all are doing, I said I got to see it for myself so I can bring it back in the People's Podcast, go live and show the world the work of the believers and the followers of the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad. So this is amazing that you are doing this, sir. I look forward to meeting you in person as well, sir.
Yes, sir. Same here. Same here. And we welcome you here. We welcome you here. And we'll take care of the responsibility.
Oh, praise be to Allah. Yes, sir. The honor is mine. I look forward to putting this on YouTube, uploading it. And if you have any closing remarks, Minister.
Well, my closing remark is that we really should come together and really do what the Honorable Minister Farrakhan has instructed us to do, is build the wasted city. And my message is to those of us who are outside the mosque process well, we have to get our act together and come and let's get in the work of building back our nation once again, because you've been blessed by the wisdom of God, you're blessed by the knowledge of God, and you're not doing anything with it. So let's come on and put it to use, because it belongs to your nation. It belongs to us. And let's put it to work, and let's stop giving all our efforts that the Hon Elijah Muhammad given to us, and we go and give it to the white man and his system and not give it to ourselves. So my advice is a clarion call to all the brothers and sisters who are, for one reason or another, they disappointed, they are frustrated, and they have to look deep into these issues that they have and realize that these issues that they have would not happen without the will of God. God permitted these actions. So if you got issues, go to Allah, clear the issues up with Allah, and come back and go to work. Don't stay committed, upset with the mosque, upset with the captain, the lieutenant, the minister, and all this old crazy stuff. Come on, let's get together and go to work. I mean, grow up, mature, and let's go to work and realize that every incident that happened in your life is a lesson for you to learn that will make you greater in what you are if you will look at it properly from the eyes of the Hon Elijah Muhammad and Minister Farrakhan, and of course, Master Farad Muhammad, because that's what he came to do. To take your affliction, you understand, and turn them into greatness.
Yes, sir. Powerful. Praise be to Allah. And to the studio audience, thank you all for watching and being there to give the positive energy to Brother Minister Roland, to his staff, his faculty. May Allah bless you all. I look forward to meeting you all in person, inshallah, very soon. Thank you all. Thank you all. It means a lot to me that you all came to the People's Podcast and made this a reality today. Thank you all for everyone who was watching. Thank you again, Brother Minister. Thank your staff.
Thank you.
And your family, sir. This is Joshua Leonard Muhammad signing off for the People's Podcast. Assalamu alaikum. And thank you all for watching, family.